Fox News is in trouble. It's got quite a few problems. Now look, when I say that it's in trouble, I don't mean that it's not at the top of the heap right now for cable news. It is. It regularly gets more viewers than any other cable news network. And why not when there's only one program that directly appeals to conservatives in America and the rest of the more reasonable, more rational news networks have to split their views among liberals across America? That makes some sense. But they are losing some ratings. So if you look at the second quarter of this year of 2013, Fox lost 11% of its younger viewer audience compared to the same time in 2012. And if you look back over the last few years, they've lost a far more significant portion of their young viewers. And we should not be surprised about this because it's likely that their current viewers are not changing the station. They're not tuning into other news networks. They're dying because they seem to be 70 to 90 years old on average. I mean, we've seen the median age of Fox viewers is 65, and the reason that it's not higher is that they don't actually count any higher than that. If they were to, God knows what that number would actually be. And so if you're Roger Ailes and you're attempting to have a network that doesn't die in 10 years like its viewers are, then you need to make some changes. And so he's trying to do that. We see Megyn Kelly is going to be moving into the 9 p.m. slot, displacing Sean Hannity there. That seems like probably an appeal to possibly a younger audience, since she is younger in appearance, and Sean Hannity is never, ever, ever going to appeal to young Americans. Why would he? But even if that doesn't succeed, it should appeal to their predominantly male audience, and I'm sure the old males will love seeing Megyn Kelly in prime time. They're making other changes. I mean, this Megyn Kelly thing might cause a domino effect of other programming changes as well. And for all we know, Sean Hannity might eventually lose his show altogether. We do see him being dropped by the Cumulus Radio Network, and I simply can't imagine that he's doing well, since his program over the past 6 months or so seems to be entirely based around demonizing Hispanics and African Americans. And this is during a time in which the GOP and conservatives in general are trying to appeal to racial minorities to make up for the fact that the white base is a smaller and smaller percentage of the voting public in every presidential election. And so they're doing what they can to try to appeal to a younger audience. They say they're going to be funding more digital content and things like that. I will believe it when I see it. And look, Megyn Kelly, for whatever reason, appears to be more reasonable than other Fox hosts, but give it time. She's said some crazy things in the past, and there's no reason to believe that she won't in the future. But I do have a suggestion for what I think they can do to actually succeed over the next 10 to 30 years. If they want to succeed, they need to focus on what they say they focus on now. If you were to ask them what they say now, or what their mission statement is, it's to focus on small government. And they say that, and in some areas they mean it, but certainly not in other areas. I mean, you can't say that we need to spend less money on food stamps and yay, small government, but then also talk about how awesome transvaginal ultrasounds are later in the same program. I think that young Americans do see through that. And while they will always try to appeal to conservatives, they need to understand that conservatives who are 70 years old are not the same as conservatives who are 20 years old. And so this overly Christian, overly anti-gay, overly minority message that they've been putting across, trying to appeal to those old conservatives, is simply not going to work with this new generation up and coming that's becoming politically acclimated right now. And so I think if they want to succeed and still stay true to basically what their message is, they need to change over to a more libertarian message. And I don't know that they can do that. I think that their economic message could, for the most part, stay the same, but they need to back off of some of the divisive social issues that they've been pushing. They've got to stop demonizing homosexuals. They have to stop demonizing minorities, because I just don't believe that young conservatives hate these groups to the same extent that the older conservatives do. I think that they're going to have to change their stance on marijuana. That's one of the big ones, because these young libertarians are just, they're not buying the war on drugs any longer. And then finally, young conservatives, perhaps, but not young libertarians, they don't support these wars of aggression that Fox has been pushing over the past 10 years. And so these are some very hard areas to make progress on as a network, and it might involve other staff changes. Like getting rid of Sean Hannity might not be enough. Eventually, old Papa Bear Bill O'Reilly might have to be put to pasture as well, because that dude is, say what you want about him, he is to some extent a maverick. And if they actually say, you gotta change your message on the wars, on gays, on marijuana, I don't think that Bill has it in him to do it. And so these are my suggestions for Fox News. These are my suggestions for Roger Ailes, how you could actually appeal to a younger demographic, and that would be to embrace young libertarians across the country. Do they have it in them to do it? Probably not.